Hey gang, I wanted to take a moment and highlight some of the things that we talked about this past Sunday at Generations Community Church. You know, Americans are fascinated with the end of the world. We just love talking about the apocalypse, Armageddon, things like the tribulation or the Antichrist. And these are all terms that are found in the Bible. One of the things that I tried very hard to do this past Sunday was to cue you in on the fact that if you've grown up in America, you've probably only been exposed to just one of four major views of the end of the world, or last things, or as theologians call it, eschatology. And so I wanted to remind you of those kind of four views. The view that's most popular in America, the one that is behind the movie and the book series called Left Behind, is called dispensational premillennialism. And that particular way of interpreting certain passages in the Bible is where Christians get the idea of a rapture, the idea that Christians will somehow be taken out of things before stuff gets really bad on planet Earth. The other three views don't teach or acknowledge a rapture at all. And all four views have been held by very prominent Christians. Dispensational premillennialism is espoused by the likes of John MacArthur out in California, and of course Tim LaHaye, the author of the book Left Behind. Historic premillennialism, the idea that things are going to get really bad before the end and then Jesus returns. That was widely believed by Christians in the first century, people like Justin Martyr. Amillennialism, the idea that things are going to be bad and things are also going to be good and they're going to kind of run along simultaneously and then Jesus is going to come back and that's the end. That view has been held by people like John Calvin, Martin Luther, and Augustine. And then the fourth view, post-millennialism, is this idea that things will get bad, but then things will get really, really good because most people will accept Jesus and then Jesus will come back at the end. All four of these views teach consistently that Jesus will literally and physically return to planet Earth. And Jesus himself had quite a bit to say about that, especially in Matthew chapter 24. His disciples ask him, "Hey, Jesus, you've been saying some very strange things. Can you tell us a little bit more about when this will happen? Or can you tell us if there's going to be some kind of sign by which we could go, oh my goodness, things are getting really close to the end of the world?" And so Jesus answers their question in Matthew chapter 24. Jesus, of course, talks at length about the fact that it will be kind of like the flood in the sense that it will catch most people by surprise. In other words, when Jesus is answering this question, the thing that he tells his followers is, yeah, my return is going to catch most people on planet Earth by surprise. They won't be planning for it. They won't be ready for it. And when that day comes, they'll have a, oh my goodness, this is the day kind of a response. They won't have expected it. And so Jesus admonishes his followers at that point. He says, hey, you should be ready for that. And the way that we get ready for that, of course, is by living out the gospel, by living in such a way that no matter when Jesus shows up, we won't be embarrassed because all of a sudden Jesus walked in on what we were doing or saying. And so, again, I just want to kind of summarize. You can have any four of those views and be considered an Orthodox Christian, but all of them together affirm something very important, and that very important thing is this: Jesus is in fact coming back. And we, in the Orthodox Christian faith, we affirm and believe what Jesus taught, namely, there is going to come a day when he will literally and physically return to the earth. That's just kind of a summary of where we were last week. I hope that helps. If you've got any questions about any of these millennialisms, dispensational premillennialism, historic premillennialism, I know these are big words. I'd love to hear from you. So you can always email me or contact me, and I'm happy to start or continue a conversation about, these theological terms. In the meantime, I hope you have a great week, and I will see you this coming Sunday at Generations Community Church. Bye-bye, gang.